I've got my jacket, my life jacket, I've got my sunscreen, I've got my towel, and I am ready to go. But it looks scary. So maybe not just yet. How many times have you said that to yourself on some project that you just wanted to start with your business, or something that you wanted to say or do? We've said that to ourselves so many times, and we still haven't jumped in. Hey, how are you doing today? My name is Ella Glasgow, and I am a voice success coach known as the Tough Love Angel, and I help successful businesswomen to find and use the power of their voice with unique tools that help them fine-tune their voice and their message so that they can make real client connections, communicate their important values, and throw their deuces up to fear so they can give their money-making ideas a kick in the pants. And today, I am talking about jumping in and what it was that I finally did to do that. Thank you so much for being around. If you like what's going on here today and maybe you want a transcript of what I'm talking about today, just type the words jump in the comments and I will get that transcript to you. Don't forget to like and share, but let's get on to it because you want to know what I did. But first, I got to tell you what made me think about it. Yesterday, we went into the pool with my little man, my little son. He is 2 years old, and he has been afraid of the pool for the past few months. When he was much smaller, he was okay with getting in the pool. In fact, we put this life jacket on him, and he was fine. But for these past few months, for some reason, fear has crept in, and at first, I was afraid for him too because I'm the mama, and I don't want him to be afraid of the pool, but mama didn't really want to get in the pool either. I can swim, but I'm not the best. And finally, my husband and I decided to get in the pool together because I didn't want him to see that mommy was afraid, so I had to get unafraid too. So we put on our bathing suits and we got in the pool. It was freezing cold because it's been raining, and even though we got in the pool, he was still kind of crying and really wanted to get out. But we said we're going to keep him in because we wanted to be unafraid. And then my husband decided to distract him with the toys that were in the pool. And we stayed in for probably about 30 minutes while he finally settled down and just played with the balls. We didn't dunk him under the water because he didn't want to do that. But he was able to get in the pool and play. But the thing was that he had been wanting to get into the pool for a long time. He had been looking at that pool, and he'd even gotten his bathing suit. That's how he says it. He'd even gotten his bathing suit on. We had the trunks on, we had his bathing shirt on, we had his swim trunks on, his swim diaper and everything. But every time he looked at that pool, he said no. There have been some things in this past year that I have looked at 1,000,000 times, and up to a certain point, I said no. I want you to think right now, what is that one thing that you've been looking at and standing at the edge of the pool and you've counted to 3 15 times, and you have yet to jump in? For me, one of the things that was freaking me out was doing what I'm doing right now. And that is talking to you on a camera. It was scary. And I didn't know if I could do it. And it took me a long time to figure out that I had something to say. And I know that you have something to say. Your voice is just as important as mine because there is somebody that needs to hear your story. And I can tell you that it wasn't until this year that I finally got brave enough to really do that. People had told me for years that I needed to start speaking about some things and I needed to get on camera, and I needed to do a whole lot of stuff. And I looked at that pool, and I did not want to get in the pool. In fact, wait a minute, I got ready to get in the pool. I got ready, I put my bathing suit on, I was looking good, and then I just wouldn't jump in. But this year, I did. So what was the breaking point? The breaking point was an experience that I had earlier this year. I had a big opportunity come up, and that big opportunity wanted me to share my story, and I was not willing at that point to share my story because that was just too much. That was too deep. Because I'm a pretty private person, and it's really difficult to talk about some of the things that I have to talk about, even though I know that there are people that may be feeling the same way. It was just scary to reveal some of those things, because not all of my story is me. Some of my story involves other people. And I know that some of your story involves other people, and it can feel really scary to reveal those deep inner parts of ourselves. But at the end of the day, that's what makes us real. Our story is our story. There's nothing that we can do to change it, but there are people that need to hear it, and they need to know what you've been through so that they can know there's a way out. So I'm not going to get into all of my story today, but just know that a couple of weeks ago, I finally got brave enough to start telling my story. And over who knows how long, it's been 38 years I've got of a story right now. And I'm not going to tell it all in one fell swoop. But stay tuned and keep listening, because there will be more to share. But how did that experience change me? You're probably asking, why was that the experience that made you finally say, okay, you'll start telling people about your story and letting people in on a deeper level? Well, it was an opportunity that I wanted really, really, really badly. And I was well suited for the part. I could do everything that needed to be done, but I wasn't willing to go as far as opening up that part of me that they wanted. The cool thing was that even though I wasn't able to do that particular event, it caused me to start asking some questions of the person that was involved in that story, and finally get some things resolved that I hadn't thought about in a long time, and realize that that was one of the pieces that had held me back for a really long time, because I wasn't willing to give that part. Not that I wasn't willing to give that part, it was more that I didn't want anybody to be hurt. You don't want anybody to be hurt by your story either. But there are some painful parts. There are painful parts of all of us. There are painful things that we've had to go through. How much of that I'll share with everyone, I don't know. But at the end of the day, I'm not afraid to do it anymore. Today is not the day for me to give the big pieces that I'm talking about. But today is the day for me to let you know that there was a catalyst, and finally I decided to jump in. And I'm not afraid to be here in front of you right now with what feels like all alone, talking to no one in this room, but I'm looking at you, and I know that you're looking at me, and I know that you are thinking about now that piece of yourself that you've kept hidden, that you know would help someone. Don't keep that hidden anymore. There are people that need to hear from you. They need to hear your voice. They need to hear it the way that you say it. or the way that you sing it. They need to see you color the world with your voice and paint it with your awesomeness, whatever that may be. So, if you would like some help with finding your voice and pulling out those pieces that would help people see a deeper part of you, then reach out. Send me a message on the instant messenger of Facebooks, and let's chat. Let's see how I may be able to help you pull out your story and sing your song and help people with the amazingness that you have to help people with. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. That's all I have for you today. Go out and be free and share your voice. Like I said, my name is Ella Glasgow. I am a voice success coach known as the Tough Love Angel. And it's time for you to go give your dreams a kick in the pants.